Things are just broken. It's a no. What the hell have I bought?
Umgerastet. Nun können wir uns der Uhr selbst widmen.
Alright, let's see if these jets actually work. Oh yeah. That side does anyway. Alright, it's the next day. This is the part that was broken. I've been to Halfords and they had a similar valve which apparently should work. Let's give it a go. I need some Jubilee clips. Alright, we're all plumbed in. Let's see if this works. It's getting a bit late now to start putting the bumper back together, so I'm going to put this in instead. Now this in here is one of the mechanisms for the boot to replace one that's failed. So let's go and fit it. There we go. I think we did a pretty good job. Well, someone's rounded the bolt in there. So it's going to be a game of what bolt fits. Nope. Oh, that one does. Let's try it. It's a no. Nope. 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 Well, how am I supposed to get it out? This is exactly why things take so much longer with these older cars, because things are just broken. I really don't want to be doing this on the hottest day of the year, but it has to be done, doesn't it? It's not coming out. I think for now I'm just going to have one lock, because this one is completely busted. Before I do call it a night, there is one little thing I do want to fit, which should only take a few seconds. That's the interior light. I got a new one. So this side plugs in there. And do we have a light? Yes, we do. There we go. All fitted, all flush. Whilst I've been waiting for parts and stuff, I did print a Porsche ashtray. This is my 3D printer. Got a new gear gator. Printed some blanking plates. I've got to print the last one there for the headphone socket. I also fitted a DAB radio, which works really good. I mounted the aerial in the pillar here. And it works really, really well. Putting this cover on's a nightmare. If only I had another person to help me. Nah, my editing isn't that good. Bloody pain in the arse. Every time. Hello again. It's the next day. And you'll never guess what. It also works with the key as well. So, this side was missing the entire section here. Same as this one. So I 3D printed a piece last night and fitted it all together with some of these bolts. I have ordered some stuff to try and get rid of this bolt in here. Now we can put another one on there as well. So for now, I think that's a pretty solid fix. This is coming along very nicely. So I'm now going to continue on the front end of the car because it's nearly time to put that all back together with the front wheels. Now when I got these bulbs off the shelf in Halfords, there was still dust all over the box because they're so old, H3s. Right, new bulbs fitted. I've now put some new screws in, and you'll see on the back I've put a nut down there and a nut at the top as well, which you can't see, but it's now absolutely secure, so I'm very happy with that. Now I have got these to fit, which are a little worse for wear really, so that might need some gluing. Now all that's left to do is put these little caps back on. More rounded bolts, both sides. What I'm going to try and do is make this into a flathead, and the other side. Not looking good. Mission accomplished, I'd say. I think I've figured out a way how to get these fog lights back together with a little hack I've got using a soldering iron. But first I need to go and grab another H3 bulb as one of these is blown. As soon as that front end is on, there's just a few bolts to do up here and there in the engine bay. Double check everything, then I can put the front wheels back on. I do need to test the speedometer works. I still don't know if that works. Obviously I'll put a new gear in there with the 3D printed gear. I must be a regular here now. Right, new bulb. Let's fit it into the light. That's all fitted. Just needs connecting up, put back together. Let's do it. We solder a hole in the top. There we go, that's those ones done as well. Let's go and fit it all back to the car. Alright, they're both in. Obviously, as I've said before, this probably will be changed at some point. But this is just to get me on the road, so let's drill them in. God, that was a faff. I had to find some bolts to fit in there. But it's now done. They're both fitted. I made a mistake. The valance thingy needs to bolt on first. It's been about another 2 hours. Looks no different, right? It's all bolted in now at the front. Good God. Strange. It said it was going to rain today. So far, so good. Let's get the anti-roll bar back on. Annoyingly, the other side is actually missing this part. So I'm going to have to order one of those, but I can still clamp both sides down for now. I was just looking at these, cleaning them up and everything, and I was like, how do they fit on? That physically cannot fit on here. It just can't. So if they don't fit on there, then what the hell have I bought? Porsche 944 rear anti-roll sway bar drop. Back on eBay they go, I guess. Alright, so next up is the clock. Don't really know how this comes apart. I might have to watch another YouTube video.
Sie müsste aufpassen, die Uhr ist oben gerastet. Nun können wir uns der Uhr selbst widmen. Die Zerlegung der Uhr beginnt mit der Abnahme dieses weißen Gehäuses.
Managed to get most of it undone, but pieces of it are falling out. There we go. I think I've done it. Don't actually know if it works, but new bulb in there as well. I thought I'd work on something different today. Two completely different things. One of them I've got working. The original clock now works. I've changed the screen, so that's all good. Trying to work out this, which is for the heating system. All it does is blow in hot air, and I can't get it to stop doing that. And I think it's because of this. I think you'll hear why it stopped working. So the issue I'm having is basically, if we turn this on, what's supposed to happen is when you turn this temperature dial, the motor is supposed to move, but nothing is happening. Quite cool to see how this works on the inside. Alright, I'm going to order a new part for that because it's broken, I think. Next thing I'm going to look at is the wipers. Now we did look before and we got voltage on the harness, but the wipers don't move, so I think the motors had it. It's a stupid place to put a bolt. The tightest little gap.
You can now lift the lid on the housing, red arrow. In some cases, you may need to use a gentle prying force to separate the lid from the housing.
All of this just for one bloody bolt up here. There we go. Right. So, the motor is dead. More money for another one. Actual mechanism works fine. So, just got to buy a new motor. Hello, we're inside. Once again, it's pissing it down outside. So I thought I'd do something different today. I thought I would show you some of the history of the car. So I'm not going to bore you to death. In fact, I'm actually going to tell you about a better website to use than a lot of the YouTubers I see use, which is Car Vertical. Again, there's no sponsors in this video, but I found something better than Car Vertical. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for it, but it's on a website called motorcheck.co.uk. So I did this check back in October when I bought the car, and as you can see, we've got the report here on motorcheck.co.uk. There are some things we'll go through on here, but I just thought I'd point out that despite it being back in October, I can still access it absolutely fine. Whereas if I go to my Car Vertical report, I can no longer view it. In fact, they want me to pay again. So that's not really great for me. Plus, I found with this other one that there's so much more information. On Car Vertical, it told me nothing about a mileage discrepancy. It had nothing about the colour changes. It's really strange. Now, I'm not sure if motorcheck.co.uk pulls the data from a different source, but there's so much more information on here. So let's go through a few things, shall we? Obviously, we've got the car is red. It was registered in 1986. Last 5C was when I bought the car. The VIN number matches up to the VIN number on my car. There's no outstanding finance. Now this is where it's interesting. So in 1993, there was a mileage discrepancy. It looks like the clocks turned back 12,000 miles somehow, which is a bit dodgy. Now, I got no paperwork with the car when I bought it, no service history, nothing. It was a complete blind purchase, which was silly to some people, but you know, I thought I'd take the gamble and find out there's loads of missing parts. But anyway, we can see here, 60,000 miles. This looks like it was the first time it was registered on kind of any DVLA documentation. So 2nd of August, 1993, 60,000 miles registered. I imagine that's when the MOT was, because that's normally when they would note them down. And then 2 months later, that's very strange. Unless it had a owner change, and they clocked it back before they sold it. 16th of October, 52,000 miles, 12,000 miles backwards. And then the following year, the 11th of February 1994, 55,000 miles. So in that space of time, it's only driven 3,000 miles. So just over 2 years later, the car's done another 40-odd thousand miles. And by the time it gets to 1999, it's done like another 10,000-ish miles, just below 10,000 miles. So this can't be registered from other MOT papers because it's gone from 93, 94, 96, then 99. So I'm not sure where they're getting these sources from. I imagine it must be from when they changed owners. Yeah, there's a discrepancy there, so I'm not really going to know how many miles are actually on the clock. Funnily enough, in 1999 it's got 105,000 miles. On the clocks at the moment, Coco, on the odometer at the moment, it says it's done 108,000, or just over 108,000. So that means in the space between 1999 and 2026, near enough 27 years later, it's only done 3,000 miles. So let's scroll down. As you can see, there's like a little nice graph there. It's not a write-off. It was never scrapped, never stolen. All green flags, apart from the mileage. So there's been 13 previous keepers, including myself. The age of the car is 39 years, 2 months. I think it's a bit older now because obviously this was months ago when I got this report come through. So 1st to the 12th, between the 12th of August 1986 to the 28th of February 2019. Now this is where it gets interesting. The car actually... The car hasn't had... The car actually hasn't got its original registration plate. As you can see, the original registration is actually D449 FPW. And the registration plate it's got on there now was registered in 1994. And then for some reason it says the duration of that plate was for 5 months, between 1995 and 1996. Then it changed to what looks like a custom plate, KJR 944P. That was for 3 years and 1 month. And then from 1999, it went back to the number plate it's got on there now, the D531 LEL. I know, strange isn't it? No colour changes. So if you're buying a car, once again, this is not a sponsored ad. This is just my experience using these guys. I would definitely recommend these guys over Car Vertical. Full stop. And it doesn't seem to even expire either. I know you could download it as a PDF, etc. on Car Vertical, but it might get lost somewhere, you know. This was great. I could just log straight back into the website and there it is. Anyway, once it stops raining, we can find out what's in this box and fit it. I'm also 3D printing some stuff for the car, which you will see. I've had nothing but trouble printing these things out. So bear with. You will probably see the finished product all ready and fitted to the car once I've figured it out. But yeah, TPU is a painful thing to print with. I'm not going to lie, I'm quite excited to see the results of these. What are they, you ask? Well, these are the rubber bushings I've printed for the anti-roll bar. Take one of these. There has to be a metal ring that goes down here first. But just as an example, we've got one bushing 3D printed, then we've got the next one, and there'll be another washer at the bottom and then a bolt. And then in this hole, I've got one of these for this side, and another goes in there. And that, apart from the washers, is pretty much ready to go back on the car. That's printed with TPU. I'll leave the files in the description if you want to download these. There we go, we've got our new 3D printed, well, somewhat 3D printed with new nuts and hardware. Everything ready to go. I think the anti-roll bar's on the wrong way round. Right, that's now on. Bolted on over there as well. It's time to lower the car. You're not going to believe this. That's not supposed to do that. This car is testing me. So over the last few days I've been putting little bits together on the car. And you know the fireproof cover sleeve stuff I put over the power stick? Well, I put it over the clutch master cylinder as well. The rubber basically is prone to perishing as well. That sits right next to the exhaust manifold. Now what happened is I went to go and test the speedometer. My foot on the clutch and it went all the way down to the floor and I heard a dripping noise. Anyway, I had a look and underneath the engine bay the rubber hose had split. So I've now bought a new one and I'm going to change it, but I'm going to have to bleed the clutch like we did in the first episode. Not a massive job, but kind of annoying. Annoying, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, the speedometer didn't work and I figured out why. Ignore this. This is going to be changed soon. I've got a spare one. This is the sensor for the speedometer. It's not plugged in. However, there's actually a piece missing which goes in the top, which I've now bought. One new clutch hose and one new sensor. In fact, I'll show you. In here, there's a little thing that spins round and round, and there's a little sensor in there which reads how fast that is spinning. And then there's our plug. So I don't really see why this shouldn't work, but you know, anything can happen. I think the battery might be worth a change now. You never saw that. Oh, blimey. Straight away. It works. Oh, fuck. Another leak. And it looks like it's power steering fluid, and it is power steering fluid. I don't seem to be winning this, so I bought some lube. Right, here we are. We're test driving the Porsche.